Hello everyone, it's Echo Music and I am back for another 911 Lone Star episode review. Today we are talking about episode 47 titled Tommy Dearest, and we are going to focus mainly on Tommy and Paul's storyline from this episode. So let's watch a couple of scenes and talk about it.
Yeah, I need you to mix up some things for me. Okay, milk and pickle juice, minced garlic, and horseradish. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Tommy, are you sure that that's necessary?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's right. Almost forgot. Raw egg and soy sauce and Tabasco. Gracie, will you help Trevor out with that? Yeah, thank you.
You're a lunatic.
Now, you can drop this act, or you're about to have the worst milkshake of your life.
How much pickle juice?
Can't have too much.
And you're sure this works, Tommy?
Oh, yes, it's my abuelita's recipe. Yeah, the milk coats the stomach and the pickle juice just pumps her full of electrolytes.
What about the Tabasco?
Immunity booster.
So first of all, Tommy was a goddess this episode. I mean, holy crap, she looks drop dead gorgeous in this scene. And it looks like finally Trevor and Tommy got their shit together and officially are a couple, which I'm super, super excited about. The only problem is Trevor's daughter does not take the news of their relationship too well. And this scene happened right after his daughter caused them to end their date early. I mean, Tommy was just hilarious in this episode. I mean, I was laughing so hard specifically with this scene. And like, I can't believe the daughter actually drank that concoction she made. I mean, that looks disgusting. Like, I would not have been able to drink that whatsoever. And she like downed it like a freaking champ. And like, I guess like his daughter really wasn't playing when it comes to making sure that Tommy and Trevor break up.
I know. Hey, you know, you're gonna be able to speak to her real soon, and she's gonna have great advice. You know, the thing about your period is, it's really just about figuring out what works best for you.
Okay.
And I know I'm probably the last person on your list, but you can always talk to me.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for everything. You're just the first person my dad has dated since my mom. And I was mad at him and you.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I've been there.
Wait, your parents were divorced too?
And I may or may not have slashed the tires on my mom's first boyfriend.
So Trevor's daughter blackmails Tommy, and Tommy decides that she's just gonna have to break up with Trevor. Now, Tommy, I mean, come on. This is like a 10-year-old child, and Tommy's like scared of this 10-year-old child. I mean, why can't she just tell Trevor the truth is just beyond me. But anyways, while she's breaking up with Trevor, his daughter comes out and is actually having real stomach pain this time and is not faking it. And it turns out she was starting her period. And Tommy ends up being extremely helpful during this, and they make up and her and Trevor get back together again. Now, I don't know about you, but this storyline and this episode felt so much like a rom-com, and I love a good rom-com, so I really enjoyed this.
It's like throughout the whole dinner, all she wanted to do was play Remember When. Like when we did Arsenic and Old Lace for the school play, or when we won the city championships in basketball.
And those aren't happy memories for you?
No, they were. I mean, the school play was never my jam, but I love to hoop.
You play basketball? Because I've never heard you talk about it or watch a game. Why'd you give it up?
I guess before I transitioned, there were these things, like these parts of myself that were so tied to who everybody thought I should be that I had to like close the door on them in order to really be who I am.
She's seen behind all those doors. And there's some of them you still don't want to open up.
Yeah, I guess you can call it a survival mechanism.
So remember the HR lady back from episode 5? Well, as it turns out, the HR lady Asha and Paul know each other from back in grade school. And after reconnecting, they decide to go out on a date. However, things don't go as planned. Now, I'm super excited that Paul gets another love interest, but I get why he had a hard time with this date. It's because Asha knew Paul before Paul even transitioned. And when Paul transitioned, he closed a lot of the doors from his past, even if what was behind those doors were actually stuff he enjoyed doing. It was a survival mechanism for him. Now, I've mentioned before that I identify as trans non-binary, and I really resonate with Paul as a character. When I came out, I did almost the exact same thing. I shut the door on a lot of things, specifically people. I did this out of fear because I didn't think these people were actually going to accept me for who I was, so I didn't even want to try and give them a chance. I also did this because I didn't want to remember a time in my life when I wasn't being my true self. So this storyline really, really hit home for me. That Paul shut the door on was his love for basketball. So at the very end of the episode, Owen gets the 1-2-6 a basketball hoop, and Paul reopens the door that he once closed. I thought this was a beautiful ending to the episode, and I'm just, at the end of the day, really, really happy we got this storyline. So in the US today, there are so many anti-trans bills being introduced and passed. So I think it's extremely important and vital that we get characters like Paul and storylines like these aired on network television. I also think it's awesome that Paul is played by a trans actor, Brian Michael Smith, because Brian is able to bring some of his own experience to the character itself. So shout out to Brian. I think this is really the representation that we need to see and hope to see more of in the future. So I thought this episode was hilarious, but also at the same time super moving and very touching. However, it did not make my top 5 favorite 911 Lone Star episodes, simply for the reason that it missed a little bit of the intensity that the episodes in my top 5 have. Although I will admit, this episode was a great breath of fresh air after the stress of the first 6 episodes. So again, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and stay tuned for next week for another 911 Lone Star episode review.